This is The Dawn with Closer, a track from our new album, Red, Red Road. You gotta get a little closer now. Just gotta get a hold right now. You gotta put it closer now. Just gotta get a hold somehow. Hey! There's a place in my house just for you. There's a room in my house just for you. You call me to share your grace. I said a word, 'cause you knew I would. Yeah, and you called me to make a change. I knew you would, 'cause you knew I would. My spirit longs to worship you. Within you I'm complete. You gave God's life to me. You spoke the truth to me. And I call out your name. I call out your name. Lord, you came to me. Yeah. And I need your love. Yeah, I need your love. Gave you love, gave you love, gave you love to me. Yeah. How long? How long can we keep up this pretense? How long can we sit upon the fence? How long can we turn and walk away? How long? Guilty as we can be, shamed by the things we see. It's painful to look, but it hurts more to turn the other way, other way, other way. Angered by what we say, question the world each day. Battered and bruised, hurt and confused. How can we go on believing this? Oh, closer.
Thanks very much for answering our questions. And the questions that have been sent in today so far from people with texts and phone calls have all been people interested in what you're doing now, where you came from, and what we can expect to see in the future. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who the Dawn are, where you came from, and how you arrived at the point you're at today.
Well, where do we start? Let's start at the beginning.
Aye.
The Dawn. We're from London, UK, and the Dawn originated in our local church. Although we've been in bands before, we came to Christ and God turned us around to sing for Him, basically. And we were both in the worship team. Well, you were engineering and producing as well, weren't you? And I was in the worship team, and we got together and wrote a song for originally for the first album, the church album, but saw we had a bit of a flavour going, and we continued writing. And next.
And it's called You Called Me. From there we went on to gig, we went out to local places, and we found ourselves playing mostly in London, central London. A lot of the places in town were normal secular venues with other rock bands, solo singers and so on, a few R&B bands, but just generally in the mainstream of things. We never really got into the church side of what we're doing, although we have played in churches and played at church services, but we find ourselves mainly out in the mainstream, playing at gigs and just with other bands, really.
So would you consider yourselves musicians first?
We'd like to think so. We'd like to think so.
Correct answer is yes. We'd like to think that, yeah. But we have always been. I've been in several bands, and Vince has been in several situations back in the 80s. Dare I say, with his brother. In a band called the Hudsons, is that right?
Oh no, don't go that far.
Oh, okay. We won't rewind that far back.
Yeah, we'll rewind that bit. Yeah, we've both been in bands, as Sue said. We've both done things in the past, and it's quite a weird step to where we are today. But what you can expect is more the same, really. More getting out there in secular venues, perhaps on some supports this year. As we've said earlier on, we're off to America in a month's time, so hopefully we'll be starting to make some waves out there.
So the first gigs you did were for the first album, The House of Zion?
That's right, yeah.
And I understand that that's available for download from your website.
Yep, certainly is.
Correct, and there are some new tracks from our second album, Red Red Road, available now to download from our main website.
But we should have a second album coming out within a month's time, which is great. So I mean, it's been a long time doing it and so on. It's taken us ages.
But we're getting there. You know how life takes over.
And some long winding roads, but it's good. You know, we're it's due for release now, so.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to getting out there with the tracks and performing live again. We had a busy year performing live, and then we sat back and wrote the second album and did a few gigs now and again, didn't we? But we can't wait to get out and take the band on the road, or even just Vince and I acoustically. Yeah. You had it all, but you wanted more. If you let go, you're fallen grace. Is it worth the price? Is it worth the pain? If you sell your soul, what will you gain? Or would you give it your all just to live the dream? So you lose again to the devil's schemes. You had everything that the world could give. You had it all, but you wanted more. And all that you touch, all that you own, and all that you have, if you let go, you fallen, grace, fallen, fallen grace.
You want, it's what you need. It's not what you want, it's what you need. It's not what you want, it's what you need. It's not what you want, it's what you need.
You had everything that the world could give. You had it all, but you wanted more. Yeah. All that you touch, all that Is it all you thought it was gonna be?